Hey there, APUS parents and guardians. Want to send a short video out, introduce you guys to a course that your students are in this year. Take a few minutes, go through a few major ideas here for you guys to see and meet me, that kind of good stuff as well. Start off here, what is APUS, also known here lovingly as APUSH, is a class organized by the College Board, kind of designed to replace entry-level United States history, so like your 101, 102 kind of classes. Kids can take a college credit test for college credit. That test will be in May. Typically, students can get anywhere from 3 to 6 college credits depending on their test score. So what the College Board gives me is essentially guidelines to follow, and I follow those guidelines and meet those key concepts with my course. In our class this year, we will study around the year 1491, pre-1491 to the present. What we'll do, the biggest thing here is we're going to analyze history. We're going to look at history, talk about history, eat, sleep, breathe history we're talking. But it's not going to be about memorization. A lot of times people think history class is memorizing names, dates, lots of dead white guys, those kind of things. This is not that. The way the College Board just recently revised their course, and they chose to get rid of a lot of the rote memorization pieces of it. Instead, now there's going to be a series of themes, skills, and document analysis that students are going to have to do. It lines up more with what a true freshman college history class is like. So we're going to spend a majority of our time analyzing sources, writing historical arguments, and working on the skills and addressing the themes of the course. What we need for supplies. Our textbook is called Out of Many by John Farragher. It's an AP edition textbook. Students should have gotten one. We have them here for the kids. They don't need to bring them to class every day. I'll let them know when they need to bring them here to class. I would love for the kids to have a 3-ring binder. In addition to the textbook, we'll use some handouts, those kind of things, and a way to organize their note guides. Some paper or notebook would be wonderful as well. Writing utensil, and we will use Schoology as our LMS. I'll show you guys that here real quick as I pop out of here. Schoology is my learning management system that I use. It's free. Most of you kids have signed up for it already this summer, and it organizes each of our units into a little folder. It looks kind of like Facebook in a way. Kids had an August assignment, which I had mailed out to them in August. And so all the assignments are listed right on here. Kids can turn those assignments in online if they'd like to. Also get their assignments back this way. It's a good way to kind of organize everything for them. I'll leave all the channels open every year for the whole year. That way kids can go back and look at stuff as they need to. That's kind of one of those nice little things to do there. So that's a Schoology that we'll be using in class. Here's some of the skills we'll look at. So one is going to be historical causation. What made events happen? We'll take big events like the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and argue what caused it. We'll look at continuity and change over time. Why have some things stayed the same? Why have some things changed? Work on how to periodize different ideas. How do we kind of make these periods of history? We'll compare events in history and why they happen. We'll contextualize history. So how does this one event look in the grand scheme of American history? We'll also work on historical argumentation, how to argue with their case and support it with evidence. Kind of hits around skills 6 and 7. Look at interpretation of different documents, how do bias, those kind of things play a role, and also synthesis. So while you have your argument, how do you also prove that, maybe it's not true, or maybe this can tell you something else as well on the idea of synthesis, working on antithesis in your paper. Some of the big themes we'll look at is American identity. So how is quote unquote being an American, how has that changed over time? Look at exchange, work, and technology. So how have all these new developments in how we in the economy and how we work and the technology we have, how has it changed American history? Peopling, how have migration and population changed American life, especially in the 19th century and even today? Politics and power. How different groups sought to change how the federal government works throughout American history for both politics and social ideas and economics. How our global conflicts have set the stage for domestic changes. So everything from World War I, World War II, the War of 1812, the War on Terror, how have those events done that? Looking at the environment and geography. So how has the geography of the United States influenced our country, and how have we also changed that geography quite a bit? And also kind of the moral and cultural values of U.S. history. How have our ideas and beliefs as Americans changed over time? Tests. So a big chunk of what we'll have our tests in here to prepare for the AP exam. There are 9 periods of study. So we'll have multiple choice questions on each test unit, each unit test. A majority of the questions will be document-based or stimulus-based. There's going to be a small piece of text, a picture, a diagram, something for the multiple choice questions, usually a group of 2 or 3 questions per source. I also throw a few old school questions on there as well, just to keep kids honest in terms of their content, but you won't see those on the AP exam. Typically, I'll have a couple short answer questions. So these are 1 and 2 sentence short answer questions, and these are College Board questions as well. They're on the AP test. Every unit will write an essay. It won't necessarily always be on the test. We'll write an essay every unit, either a document-based question, which is a question, essay question I give students, and then they have 5 to 7 documents to use in support of that essay, and cite those documents in their essay, or a free response question, which is more of an open-ended essay that kids can answer. In the second semester, we'll also do what I call a final enrichment project. It'll be something fun after the AP test for students to do, but still about learning, still about history. Our daily work is our key concept guides, which is kind of my little study guide for this, with some reading assignments. We'll do different Socratic seminars and discussions and role plays and simulations. We'll have debates in here. There'll be different responses, reflections we write. Plus, every week, every Friday, typically, I give a quiz, all done on Schoology, so it's graded pretty quickly for them. Grading-wise, the 90-10, 90% for the work for the semester, 10% for the final exam, with a 70-30 mix for my tests and quizzes versus the daily work. I do offer retakes on the tests and quizzes that your students can schedule with me during ARP. So if we don't do so hot on a test, we'll come sit down, we'll talk, we'll restudy, and we'll retake that test or a different version of that test for their grade. The AP test is May 6, 2016. I believe it's in the morning, so your kids will be at one of the churches here in town with their gifted and talented staff, and they'll be taking the test there and coming back to school during 5th hour. There are 4 sections to the test, and I try to mimic this as much as I can with our assessments in class. 55 multiple choice questions in 55 minutes, so a minute a question. That's 40% of the score. There's 4 short answer questions, 1 and 2 answers. That's going to like a short paragraph answer, I guess. And that's going to be a 20% of the score. Your document-based question, which is 25% of the score, and then long essay, 15% of the score. So kind of see how the test breaks down in May. I'll send more information about that home around April or so. A couple little things here. Fix this real quick. If you want to get text reminders for homework assignments, you want them as well as your students, you just got to text the message up here. I'll have it in the email as well, at APUSH to 81010. I have that email as well. Don't worry about it if you miss it here. If you want to follow my Twitter, go for it. I love getting Twitter followers, at MrMoose_history. I'll try to make sure I update Skyward weekly. If I'm not doing it enough, please let me know. Call me out on it. If I get a little behind, I apologize in advance, but I'll try to do that. If kids are missing stuff, I have Schoology available, plus also have a website called mrmoose.info. Right here it is. I do have an APUSH area on here with my calendars that you will get information for every unit on here, so feel free to have kids use that as well. I also have a calendar on my website that I'll give you a link to that has all the APUSH assignments on it. You can check weekly what's coming up in APUSH on here. I'll do some flip lessons as well in here. This is an example of a flip lesson where I'd put the material I lecture on online, have kids watch it. That's part of their summer assignment. And I'll do that so we can free up some more of that in-class time to work on the document stuff. If you want to get a hold of me, email is the best way by far, ryan.moosek@saukprairieschools.org. It goes to my phone. I do respond to it pretty quickly. My classroom phone number is on here. If I'm here, I'll answer it. Usually I'm here about 6:45 to 4:30, 5 o'clock, depending on other stuff I have going on. If I'm not in here and you call, I apologize. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Any question or comments, please send them my way. Look forward to working with you guys and your students this year. Thanks much. Appreciate it.